They all have the same heads. Decided while we had them out, I'd take a look at these 60mm Marx Apollo astronauts. If my understanding is correct, the white ones first appeared in the giant Martian Landing playset in either 1972 or 1977. There is reliable information pointing to both dates. The white and orange ones were reused for the Galaxy Command playset in and around or near 1977 or 1978. And then the orange figures alone were part of the last Marx Space Set Star Station 7. And I'm not sure exactly if all of the poses would be part of it or each of those sets. And I've got them lined up here with the like poses in front of each other. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 poses. And I know that I'm missing another ring hand guy. And I put him out here next to the orange walking dude so you can see that they're different. The white guy has a ring for his hand that would hold one handle on a box, and then another figure, I guess, who'd be the same. Or maybe it's the opposite. The hand is on the other side. They carry the box together. And there are reductions on the large 6-inch Marx astronaut figures, and all of them will have the Marx logo stamp on the bottom. They're not difficult to come by. You can usually find a complete set. I want to say $30 shipped. I bought a couple of different lots that had some in them, and I got out these two guys, standard 2.5-inch MPC spacemen, and the popular triangle and rope and Geiger counter pose. The closest that Marx got to a Geiger counter with their spacemen is that metal detector, but again, I just wanted to show how different they are in characteristics than the Marx dudes, who have on pressure suits. These guys have on flight suits with crash helmets and diver tanks. And of course on the bottom it'll be marked MPC and not Marx. And I even want to say the originals will also have a number indented as well. So, not Marx. These are Marx. So, the Operation Moonbase dude, a child, had applied some paint to this one. I keep him out because it doesn't matter if he gets chewed up anymore. And before the Apollo astronauts, Marx would mark the bases of their space figures with these two circular indentations. And believe it or not, this dude here, the Swoppet guy, whoa, I pulled his head off. He also is by Marx, with two indentations under each of his pod feet. This series, you can tell them from the others in that Marx did not have bases on them, and they used pod feet and a somewhat flexible rubberized plastic that over time will sort of bend up. So I got to use sticky putty on him to keep him from keeling over. But Operation Moonbase, that was 1962. These guys first appear on the scene, I want to say 65, 66. maybe later than that. I know that they were issued with the hill climbing vehicles, or the Moon Train, which had the hill climbing vehicles in it, and that was 1968. And then they got around to the Apollo astronaut starting in 1969, first in the 6-inch configuration and then smaller here. And the ruckus is me getting out my Lunar Exploration miniature playset, which also, of course, has figures in them. So it's not entirely correct for me to say these were the only spaceman figures that Marx made between Operation Moonbase and the Apollo series, first issued in 1969 in 6-inch form, and then appearing in the smaller white form in Giant Martian Landing set, either in 72 or 77. But these figures, the smaller reduced figures here in things like this Lunar Exploration playset, definitely count as well. So I want to say this is from either 68 or 69. And it's got figures in it. So Marx was making space figures all through the 1960s. They just didn't look like this. Stop calling those Marx figures. They're not by Marx. They're by MBC. So I'm going to keep working on these here. I'm going to figure out how many or what other poses I'm missing. Who knows about finding the box? I think you're going to have to find a playset. And I believe it would be either Giant Martian Landing or Galactic Command that's going to have the second ring hand figure and the box. And I think that's it for tonight.